Lepidico is an ASX-listed lithium exploration and development company. We're differentiated from our peer group in that we're not looking for spodumene or brines. We've got a patent-registered technology that allows us to extract lithium chemical from mica and phosphate minerals. So we're interested in pegmatites, but non-traditional minerals for lithium within those pegmatites. That technology is called LMAX. We're currently in the midst of a feasibility study evaluating what we call a phase 1 LMAX plant, which is to be located in Sudbury in Canada. The philosophy behind that plant is large enough to be able to provide an attractive economic return, small enough for a company of our size to be able to develop, and also sufficient to prove commercial viability of the LMAX process. A full-scale plant would likely be 5 to 8 times larger. The other advantage of the LMAX process is it does produce a suite of byproducts, and I'll get into what those byproducts are further on in the presentation. We're well capitalised. At the end of March, we had cash of just over $6 million, and we're fully funded through to the end of our feasibility study. You can see here the footprint. As I mentioned, we're looking at developing our phase 1 plant in Sudbury in Canada. The reason for that location is our process is quite acid intensive. We use sulfuric acid as our main reagent, and as many of you probably know, Sudbury has 2 very large nickel smelters there and produces about 1 million tonnes a year of sulfuric acid, which all goes to export. The other rationale for that is around the Great Lakes region of North America. There's also depth of manufacturing for all of our products. Feed to that plant will be a lithium mica concentrate. The feasibility study is contemplating that feed coming from the Alvaro lepidolite mine in northern Portugal. We have an ore offtake arrangement with a private Portuguese company called Grupo Mota. And we've also got some exploration properties in Western Australia that we're earning into, and we're drilling at the moment. So focusing in on the Alvaro lepidolite mine, this operation has been in existence since 1992. It currently produces relatively modest quantities of actually a lithium feldspar concentrate that gets used in the ceramics industry. We did the first drill program at Alvaro last year and identified a resource over just 400 metres of strike of about 1.5 million tonnes going 1.1% Li2O. It might not sound like a lot, but that's sufficient to support our phase 1 project for 12 years. So we don't need a big resource to have a meaningful amount of production. The area here is underexplored, so there's open pits that extend over 900 metres of strike, so there's plenty of opportunity to be able to extend this mineralised zone, and there's also other pegmatites mapped on the area, but no drilling done there. So the opportunity here will be to develop or expand the existing mine up to around 100 to 140,000 tonnes a year of ore, and have that ore feed into a small concentrator. We made an announcement a few weeks ago with regard to the Outotec-C plant, which you can see here. This is really an off-the-shelf package. Outotec has built and installed one of these in Saudi Arabia. It operates at around 150,000 tonnes a year of feed and can produce 40 to 50,000 tonnes a year of concentrate. Totally modular, it arrives in 10 40-foot shipping containers. So an ideal type of plant for our small scale of operations. I should also mention our alliance with Galaxy Resources. As many of you probably know, Galaxy is an ASX-listed spodumene producer. They operate the Mount Cattlin mine in Western Australia. Earlier on this year, we did some test work on a sample of tailings from Mount Cattlin that contains lithium micas. And we produced battery-grade lithium carbonate grading about 99.8% lithium carbonate, so a high purity product from a tailing stream. And I think that this really goes to demonstrate the flexibility of LMAX and an ability to be able to maximize resource potential at other base metal lithium projects. Focusing on our technologies specifically, LMAX is patent registered. We filed the patent, provisional patent application in Australia a few years ago. We're now in the national phases of that and would envisage that within 12 to 18 months those patents will start to come through. A few weeks ago we also announced a new provisional patent application for a process called SMAX. This actually sits at the front end of the LMAX process and allows us to be producing silica products, which is actually a co-product when we're processing lithium micas. One of the advantages of the LMAX process is it uses a very conventional reagent suite. Sulfuric acid, limestone, and lime is really the reagent suite. And it also uses industry standard equipment. So the process is largely leaching up front, so leach reactors, filtration, and crystallization. The byproducts are either an amorphous silica or sodium silicate, SOP fertilizer, and depending on the mineralogy, if there's tantalite present or cassiterite present, we can also produce tantalum or tin concentrates. So some of the fundamentals for the phase 1 plant, we're looking at a throughput of around 3.6 tonnes an hour, equivalent to close to 30,000 tonnes a year of concentrate. The ideal feed there is grading around 4% lithium oxide. Nominally, that will produce around 3,000 tonnes per annum of battery-grade lithium carbonate. Lycopodium has done the engineering, preliminary engineering for this plant. And just before Christmas last year, we announced that we were embarking on a phase of vendor test work to get a better understanding of the exact capacity of the major equipment going into this plant for this application. The issue we've got here is we may be better off upscaling some of these pieces of major equipment. The largest piece of equipment is the belt filter, the leach belt filter. If we install a unit that's maybe twice as large as the 3.6 tonnes per hour capacity, we could be installing, have installed capacity of up to 5,000 to 6,000 tonnes a year on a debottleneck basis. So we expect to finish that round of test work within the next couple of months and then come to a landing on the exact design and engineering for that concentrator. Cost structure is competitive, around $1,000 to $2,000 per tonne of lithium carbonate net of byproducts, and this is where the byproducts really are key to this process and being in proximity to market to be able to sell those. CapEx for the plant on a nominal 3.6 tonne per hour basis is 40 to 45 million. That's a PFS number. Later on this year, we'll have the full feasibility study figure for that. This is an engineered drawing from Lycopodium. The location for this is in Sudbury, as I mentioned. It's on an industrial park. It's got existing power, gas, water. It's on town sewer, and what you can see here is actually a rail spur coming into the site. So we've got fabulous infrastructure on this site. Product quality. These results came from a mini plant trial that we did earlier last year. We consistently produce 99.8 to 99.9% lithium carbonate, along with very low impurities. And the time frame that we're looking at for the project, feasibility study completed later this year, final investment decision depending on permits and approvals after that, targeting the very end of the year. The critical path is permits and approvals. Assuming they come through, we'll be looking at about a 15-month development for earliest production beginning of 2020. And in parallel with that, we are looking at also running a feasibility study on a full-scale plant. Thank you very much.